Before, I used to use G Drive to work on our budget, and that way, my husband can access it as well on his own time and fill up his part. But too recently, I have been encountering some problems, some issues with Google Drive. Sometimes it's hard for me to open it up, so I switched to a spreadsheet. But then, because I have the spreadsheet on my laptop and sometimes on a USB drive, my husband doesn't have access to it when he wants. So I'm moving to paper budget. I still have the spreadsheet, but I start printing out paper so that we both access it. He fills it up, I fill it up, and then I will put that in the spreadsheet. So we are at the end of November, and I'm going to fill up the spreadsheet and the paper, and you can see how we work on our budget. I have the spreadsheet, a template of the spreadsheet on my website, and I can post a link in the YouTube for you to take a look at it. And I will be making the paper budget online as well, so that you can print it out and use, because if I have a need for it, chances are there will be other people that will prefer the paper budget as well. So don't know if you can see my screen here, but we have on the far left we have all the items that are part of our budget. We have the budget. That's the one that we used to follow. But then we have some financial issue recently, and we try to cut down on our expenses. My husband has been subject to a scam or identity theft, and that caused him some debt on credit cards that we are trying to pay off. For that reason, I suggested we cut down on some expenses, and he is in charge of the budget, so he came up with a plan that will work for us. So for example, cable and internet went down from 170 to 135. He's still working on that to cut it down. Telephone, a cell phone, from 105 to $30, and then trash for 19 to 19. We have electricity and gas. We kept those two lines the same, 160 each. And we have car gas, $55. We have bus ticket, $36, which equals to $10. Food, meal, fruit, and cash saving from 375 to 375, and I will explain that in a moment. Charity, CC, stay the same. Allowances, it used to be $100 for me, $100 for him a month, which equals to $60 in the moment. And his credit card, we didn't have any credit card there before. Now he has about $15,000 credit card debts, and we set the minimum at $283. So, and for the 375, we used to, I don't know if I'll be able to show it here, but we used to put 350 on the side every month to cover, because we don't have emergency fund, but we listed those expenses that we don't pay for every single month here, and we budget how much it can cost us a year, and all total to 4,100 divided by 12. We chose 350 to put on the side every month. So, but now we decided not to do that since September, because we did it in September, October, November we didn't. And I come up with, instead of thinking that I have 375 on hand to spend on grocery, I can spend 250 and keep 125 in cash, just in case something happened in the house and we need to pay for it. So that's why I have cash saving here. So the groceries is 250 plus 125. I still take 375 out, but my purchasing power is 250. I'm trying to see if we'll be able to, to spend 250 a month in groceries or less, and keep 125 for expenses that we don't expect, or we know that at one point we might pay for. So for December, I need to fill up a lot of time. For the spreadsheet, I will fill it up with estimate, and then as we pay the bills, we'll come and change it with actual. November right now has actuals there. So our mortgage this month cost us 1,081 because there was some the property tax went up and we needed to pay that difference. And we have cable internet that costs 152.37. We have phone 94.50, trash $19, gas 61.26, electricity and water 148.64. Car gas cost 45, and bus ticket we didn't take anything out. For groceries we took that 275 out, and I was able to put 125 on the side. But then later I took 40 out to buy sweet potato and some other grocery items when I ran out of grocery money. Charities we gave $70. Our allowances we took 60 out, and he paid $290 credit card. So our expenses for the month of November is $2,297.05. But then we pay extra toward other things, mortgage extra. So expenses from saving, those are the expenses that we put 350 on the side for. And then we have the credit card extra. So for the month of November, we live on one income, my husband's income, and then we use my income to pay the mortgage in full. Or sometimes we take something out of it to pay the bills for our second property. So for the month of November, we pay $2,095.95 toward extra mortgage, extra principal, additional principal. $10 came out of the saving for copay, and then he paid $86.08 toward credit cards. So we call that section variable expenses. Pretty much our main categories we call it fixed expenses, because we fix it. Even though our monthly expenses vary, we set our budget in a way that our expenses will fall under, not too much below, and certainly not too far above. So, and then we have those extra toward debts that we call variable expenses. And at the bottom section, we have the total cost, we have investment, where we list what goes toward our second property, and then we have the balance, amount to save for irregular expenses. So now back to November, our main expenses total to $2,397.05. We pay $2,192.3 toward extra of our variable expenses, including expenses within that are irregular, like medical copay and things like that. So our total bottom cost was $4,589.08. So now December is blank. So we are going to work on that. Let's see if I opened the bank account earlier, but I think it will have logged me out. Oh no. So let me show you again. The spreadsheet. The top of the spreadsheet, we have our income that we list here. So we live on last month paycheck. We live on my husband's paycheck, and we live on last month paycheck. So let me see if we have the budget here. Our living expenses is $1,064. That does not include our mortgage. So we have living on one income, $1,064. Before we set it at $1,340, but then to pay the credit card debt, my husband adjusted the bills, the budget, and we found out we can live well within $1,064. We decrease our allowances from $200 to $60, like I showed you before. And phone and cable went down as well. In fact, he cut cable, and he's thinking about subscribing to Hulu, and we have the internet. I switched a phone as well, and he did it as well. We moved from Verizon to Telo.com. I'll talk about that another time. So that decreased our living expenses, like I showed you before. Cable, internet, 7 day. Within that 1340, 7 day. Now he budget 135, but I'm sure he's working on it to decrease it again. We have phone, trash, car gas, electricity, electricity, car gas, bus ticket, groceries, charity, and allowances. All of those fit within his budget, and then we use my income to pay for the mortgage. So this spreadsheet here just reflects our expenses within his income, and the spreadsheet that I opened before reflect the whole budget, the whole income and the whole budget. So here we will usually, for December, we will put our estimate, and then as he pays the bills, he will come there and update it with the actual. So I'm going to use paper because we are using paper budget. We are going to work on paper, and then later we will come and fill it up with our actual. So we are going to combine the spreadsheet and our paper. So the first things we do is, let me go back to the big budget. So because we live on last month income of his, he get paid twice a week, and I get paid once a month. So he got paid, and each time he gets paid, he move his income to the saving. So let's see if we can see what I'm doing here. he moved one of his pay already to the saving. He got paid twice this month, and I can open the saving to retrieve that dollar amount. So my account, we have two saving accounts. One is under kids and the second one is personal. So he moved one of his paycheck here. So 963.70. So that amount on a spreadsheet income, he already put a 963.70. So now I will go back to the checking. So we got paid already, but we have not done anything until we set the budget or we work on our budget. So I'm going to click on the checking account. So he got paid. Having issue with. Okay, so he got paid 1,093.75. I'll put it down here, 1,093.75, and I'll put down my income as well. And then we will find the total of that. Let's see, I can open spreadsheet here. So when he got paid the first time, he moved it to the saving. Now that he got paid, he could still move it to the saving, and then together we'll see what we can do, how much we need to move to the checking. And a lot of time it will be $1,064. So plus 1,093.75, and mine is 3277.23. So our total is 5,334.68. So now the mortgage I had to go online to check it out. They will have something there for me. But before I do the mortgage, I can skip that line. So like right now, he estimates what his expenses are going to be. The mortgage, we estimate the way the spreadsheet on paper works is we have a row, a column for estimate and a column for actual. On the spreadsheet, we just use the same column. We enter what we think the costs are going to be, and then that gives us how much we have left under his income to be put toward the credit card. And then as we pay the bills, we change the estimates in the column by the actuals, and at the end of the month we see how much we have left in excess, and we either move it to the saving. And what we do is cable and gas and electricity, we don't spend 150 a month in there. So when we have a saving there, we move it to the saving. So 61 and 148. They all we budget 160, 160. That way we make sure we have enough to cover those, because electricity and water can go up. And when it's up, gas is down, we know that they can cover each other. And there was just 1 month in a year that both of them will push us over. But only 1 month out of the year, this year was February, when both were over 320, but not too far. And this one were quite maybe $2 over, something like that. So for those reasons, 160, I like to keep it like that. That way we know that for most of the month it's covered, and we'll have some excess we can move back to the saving. So my budget doesn't change. My budget is fixed unless there is a very big change in our expenses that we need to update. My budget doesn't change. That we start the year with this budget, 1380, 1340 for our living expenses, and we only told it in September when the credit card scam happened. So my budget stay fixed for all my categories, but then our actual trend is, but we set our budget in a way that we fall well within it. And if there is an excess, we move it to the saving, or if there is a debt, like in the credit card debt, we can pay with. So now for the paper, he's already estimate his expenses. Cable, he's thinking about pretty much 70 there, and for phone, he's thinking about 25 and 8. That's what he estimated. He just changed phone from Verizon to Tello as well. When I change it, mine became $8.57 a month, and we used to pay $105 in phone for 3 phone. His mom included. We moved her out, so now for both of us, we moved from Verizon to Tello. And I think his is going to change. He's thinking about something that will cost about $10. So our budget for $30 for phone is going to be lower. Trash, he estimated the same, 19. Electricity and gas, 160. But that's what the budget is. But he think his estimate might be 100 and 150. But he kept it like this because the difference between the budget and the cost is going to our saving. So he kept it like that so that he can see how much of his income is going to be left at the end to put it to our credit card without taking anything out of gas and electricity saving. So car gas 555, grocery 375, donation, I think his allowance is 60, and donation he put $70. But then we have bus tickets, $10, but this $10 will go in the saving. So we have it there as well. Car loan minimum due 260. We started the month with 283. We went down to 260. So credit card minimum due, that's the car loan. We don't have it. And credit card minimum due 283. He estimated to be 260. He looked it up. Student loan minimum due, there is none. So our pretty much living expenses, you can see on the paper, our living expenses, the minimum we need every month, including the mortgage. How we budget is 2,266.11, but our mortgage is going up a little bit because of the property tax. So he estimated here, and we can see like this here for this month is going to be $2,100.56. Is it that? Oh, I think he changed it to this one here. I think he threw it up. Let me see if I'm looking at it right. I think he tried to correct it. So 2,207.07. So, but we know that our budget is here. I like to go more with the budget. Our budget is, we need $2,266.11 for our expenses every single month, and our income that we budget is 5,122. That's our budget. It might varies, like December is 5,334, and he estimated like this, but that is the minimum so that we work with. So you can see that we try to live well below our income, and 2,266.11 is what we need, and 5,122 is what we work hard to bring home. So where the difference is going, we are putting the difference in the mortgage. So we live on his income. His income, we budget our expenses to fit that, and we put the mortgage. We pay this toward the mortgage, or our second property. We might take a little bit out, like 500 out, and put it toward the bills for the second property that we are going to renovate to rent out. So we are trying to pay off our mortgage, and we just put one income toward the mortgage, and the other income we try to live within that and save $350 a month for expenses that we pay for, but not every month. But since he has a credit card debt to pay, we are putting everything toward the credit card debt that is left out of his income. And then when I take $375 out for groceries, I try to put $125 in another envelope for those expenses. And I'm going to show you like we don't have emergency fund, but if there is an expense that we cannot afford to pay, we can use the credit card to pay. And then when we get paid at the end of the month, it will come out of the money that go to our mortgage to pay it. If we need to, we will pay the minimum to our mortgage, and then the difference will pay for that expenses we put on the credit card. And for an example, a pipe broke in the wall, the sink, our bathroom sink pipe broke, and we called a plumber. Yesterday, one came and opened the wall to fix it. They will send us the bill. So we decided, my husband and I, that we will put 500 out of the money that will go toward the mortgage in our saving, so that we can cover the plumber expense, and then we will call somebody to fix the dry wall. So we are hoping that it will fit within 500. So that's how we deal with those expenses. At the end of the month, our income, we will just take it out of what will go toward the mortgage to pay. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. Yeah. And that's the pipe that all the bathroom, toilet, and sink water goes in, the vertical one. And this pipe, they fixed it. The previous owner got it fixed, and who worked on it fixed it all the way to here. And this area was in copper, and that copper routed and was broken, and the water was just pouring in the basement a few days ago. And for a few days we stopped using the bathroom sink. We just used the tub to wash your hand and brush teeth. We called a plumber. He said the problem is in the wall, but his boss won't allow him to open the wall. We need to call a contractor. And I told my husband to call another plumber, drain tech. And they came yesterday. A guy came yesterday. He was very nice. Cleaned up the floor after him. And he said we can either open the wall in the bathroom by taking the toilet out first, or open it here in the hallway. And we decided to go with the hallway. So he opened it up, replaced the pipe. He didn't have the proper things for here, but thankfully this one worked, and he was able to fix it up for us. So, and that's something we don't have much in the saving to pay for, but since it happened toward the end of November, a part of the money that will go toward the mortgage will be left in the saving to cover that expense. So because we live well below our income, we can afford to pay our expenses, our debts, without saving up first for emergency fund. So yeah, we don't have emergency fund like the way a lot of financial advisors would advise 3 to 6 months of emergency fund. But we try to live well below our means. So the pipe, the water was dripping here and here. So that's the yeah, it's kind of hard to see here, but yeah. So it was unexpected. You don't know what is going on in the wall. So, but thankfully, if they were to ask us to pay right away, we will have paid with credit card. Or even better, we could have written a check for it since we already have the money in the account anyway. So yesterday was the 29th of November. But, yeah. And then when we work on budget, how much we paid, we will just make sure we take it out of the extra that will go toward the mortgage to cover that expense. So yes, if you don't have emergency fund, try to live well below your means. List all those irregular expenses that you can pay for in a year, divided by 12, and try to save up every month for it. And I think I'll have another video to explain it. But right now, I'll show you how we are doing the budget. So we have the estimate for everything, and I can use it now to fill up the spreadsheet. So thank you so much for sticking around, and that's how we use our paper budget. You use the column estimate to list all your budgets, and then as you pay expenses, as you get paid, you list your incomes, and then you list your bills. And we have a due date where you put where things are due. And the mortgage, for example, the mortgage is due, I will say, the 1st of the month. I like to pay the 30th or the 31st. And then you total everything to see how much your expenses are, and you decide how much you wanted to put toward the balance or the remaining, what you have left, how much you want to put toward your extras. And as you do that, you make sure you put something on the side for irregular expenses. We used to have $350, and right now I'm saving it out of grocery $125. So I don't want to take it out twice. That's why it's not here. But try to budget for those irregular expenses included to see how much you have left to put toward your debts. Thank you for watching. I'm Nina from Nina Soap, and we try to live within our budget without sacrificing the quality of our life, and at the same time we strive to increase our net worth. Thank you for watching.